Okay, Matt. So thanks for having us out here on Open Cockpit Day.
Anytime. You are always welcome anytime.
Great turnout, not so hot.
You class up the place.
We try. So tell us a little bit about this aircraft.
I get to be stationed and tell people and take tours. This is the EC-121 Constellation. This aircraft behind us was originally designed, the original design was the Constellation passenger plane. You ever heard of Howard Hughes? The Spruce Goose?
Yeah.
He wanted to buy the first 30 Constellations and turn them into Trans World Airlines, TWA. But when the Department of Defense and all the folks look at this airframe and said, you know what, I think it may have military possibilities. Instead of sending Hughes his 30, he got one. Wow. He painted it TWA, he flew it to Washington and said, this is what I want. They said, it looks great, you're still not getting your aircraft. Now that said, this is not an airliner that's being refitted. This has been built from the ground up to be an airborne early warning and control platform. And that's a lot of information basically saying it's a flying air traffic control center.
When did this, how long has this been here at Castle Air Museum?
This was one of the first aircraft, I believe. We've had it a while, but this particular aircraft entered military service in 1951. The Air Force,
wow.
The Air Force stopped flying EC-121 Constellations in '78. The Navy stopped flying them in '82. So the plane that followed this one, you ever see the AWACS, Airborne Early Warning Control, the big plane with the big dish? That's the plane that followed this. This is like the grandfather to that. And what this plane could do, Sparkle, believe it or not, in Vietnam during Linebacker 2, Operation Rolling Thunder, when we had all kinds of bombing operations, planes like this could monitor planes launched from the air, or planes launched from the ground, planes launched from aircraft carriers, things on the ground and things on the ocean, all simultaneously, basically monitoring what's coming in and going out of combat situations.
Oh, wow.
Planes like this helped rescue Apollo lunar and space missions.
Really?
Because these planes were airborne to let the carrier-borne helicopters know from the time they broke the atmosphere to the time they landed. Otherwise, we'd still be searching for astronauts at sea without planes like this.
Wow, so this is both.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the weight that it could carry? Do you know?
Well, no. Well, you see the dome.
It's dynamic.
You see the dome at the bottom and the dome at the
right.
top. That's all. It's radar and detection gear and communications gear. So basically, it's a flying radar. It's a flying. Basically, it's a flying Radio Shack.
How heavy is that, though? That's what I was like. That's pretty heavy.
Well, you can imagine a crew of 26, fully loaded with all this.
Wow.
And these planes.
26.
If you go into these planes, and you're welcome to tour. This is open every open cockpit day. When you go in, you'll notice it's got its own bathroom. It's got its own galley or kitchen. There are cots where the crews can sleep.
Because they have to stay here for quite some time.
Well, this whole thing, this aircraft with airborne, this will stay up in the air for more than 24 hours at a clip. And during the Cold War, planes like this were airborne all the time, like round the clock just in case.
Wow. That is really impressive.
So yeah, and also when you go in, unlike some other places where you can see this type of airframe, when you go in, you go up those stairs, the radar dish is still there. Some of the technology doesn't work, but it's all still in here, and you can see it. You can literally see where these brave men, no offense ladies, but there weren't a whole lot of men in the air in 1951, but you can see where these air crews monitored aircraft and the technology that they used. It looks antiquated. You want to talk about kids today don't know what a rotary phone is? You come in here, and I tell folks, you're not going to see GPS, you're not going to see MapQuest, you're not going to see any of that in here, but they got the job done.
Wow, and it took a lot of people at one time. That's the amazing thing about these aircraft. It's not like there's a pilot. It takes a team to really run this.
Flight crew of 6, and then the rest of the 20, up to 20, operating the radar gear, operating the just basically communicating with their aircraft. So basically, air traffic control in the sky.
A lot of moving parts. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Anytime, come out and see us.
For sure.